Hey folks, we have a great show coming up. It is Animal Tales episode number 2024, brought to you by SPCA Tampa Bay. I'm Eric Keaton. I'm going to be talking to Devin Quinn. He's a vet tech. He does wonderful work. He's going to share his story, and we're going to talk about our upcoming Petwalk. The kickoff is on February 10th, and I have some great adoption stories for you during Barky News. Let's go. Here we go, 2024. It is episode 1, Animal Tales, trying to do everything new to get you locked in to SPCA Tampa Bay and our Animal Tales. And our first guest of episode 1, Devin Quinn, veterinary tech here at SPCA Tampa Bay. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, we're going to talk shelter medicine, right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Very excited.
One of your favorites, Dr. Pindar, was on here before.
Yes, absolutely love her. She's the best.
And Dr. Pindar and Dr. Lopez in previous episodes that you can watch on YouTube or download from your favorite podcast provider. You can see all of those on like iHeart, YouTube. Those 2 episodes were probably some of our most viewed and listened to. For some reason, Dr. Pindar's podcast has got caught up in a loop lately, and there's hundreds and hundreds of downloads, but really talked about the difference between Dr. Lopez and the work he does with other veterinarians and vet techs like yourself and nurses for own pets. But here at the shelter, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, different ball game for sure.
So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
You're in high school, but you're a hell of a baseball player, and you get a scholarship. What happens next?
So in high school, I actually injured my elbow my junior year, and then I had to do rehab, come back my senior year, and then I got the scholarship to go play in Missouri, a small school up there, which was so awesome. And I had really no direction as far as what I wanted to do with my life besides baseball. That was always my passion, was just baseball. And so coming into the spring season, which was like the big season, I got back from winter break. My first practice back, I blew my elbow out again. And so I was kind of at a loss because
were you getting like Tommy John surgery or anything?
So I had partial tears in my ligament, but I also had nerve damage the second time. And that was kind of the tough part because I couldn't play anymore. And that was that. And so then COVID hit right after that. Mm-hmm. So I got sent home, and then I really was like, boy, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I was just doing online school and business. And my mom was like, hey, time to get a job. Like, let's do something. And I was like,
that's what moms do.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I was like, all right, I guess I'll look for something. She said, I think you like animals, right? I was like, yeah, we've always grown up with like dogs. I had greyhounds and huskies and rat terriers growing up. So a little bit of everything. And then I applied to the shelter, and they called me back within 2 days, and here I am.
Wow. Let me back up to baseball a little bit. Were you pitching?
Yeah, I was a pitcher. In high school, I played, after my injury, I played first and pitched, yeah.
And which high school here locally?
Indian Rocks Christian School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So usually the guys who pitch and play the other position, best players on the team.
No, not the best, but I was definitely up there, yeah.
Yeah, because I can remember back in my high school days, the shortstop, Danny Rayleigh, for Potomac High School, and his older brother, too, Tim, they were really great players. He played shortstop.
Okay.
But he's also one of the best pitchers.
Oh, awesome.
His curveball was nuts.
Oh, yeah.
But he basically taught me how to hit a curveball. He was drafted to the Tigers organization.
Oh, nice. Okay,
and
very cool.
So I'm an old guy. So back in the day, they were getting recruited to Wichita State.
Oh, nice.
Who was,
it's a beautiful school.
Yeah, but Missouri still. So you didn't have any like, I got to get this fixed, got to get back into baseball?
I couldn't. That was the thing, was after the first time, it was just the ligament, so I could get it fixed and come back. But once there's nerve damage, there's really not a whole lot you can do with it. And then at that point, it was like, I'm going to spend another year in rehab. And I was just kind of done. I was burnt out of doing the whole thing. And I was like, I need to just do something. And so then I started here. And that's when like kind of my whole life changed. I was here for probably 3 months, and it was pretty brutal because I was in the kennels. And so, you don't realize how hard those kennel technicians work and how hard the animal welfare team works, the adoption team. But it is one of the hardest jobs here. It hands down, physically, mentally, it's brutal. And so, but once you get a passion and a love for it, it's like all that kind of alleviates, and you're just like immersed in animals.
When we show marketing material and Matt takes pictures of folks in animal welfare and they're in the kennels cleaning and they're doing this, and it shows that's real sweat. I mean, no matter, think about it, when it's 90 some degrees and humid in July, still today, here we are, January, it's going to be like low 70s. It's still hard work.
Oh, it's
and
ridiculous.
They're sweating their, what's off.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I remember so vividly being out there during the summer scrubbing litter pans and just drenched in sweat. I would spray myself down with the hose because it was so hot.
So in that animal welfare role, mom says, go find a job. You're like, okay, yeah, I like working with animals. You get here, you get called in 2 days. And you're in that. How many kennels do you think you were cleaning in? It's an 8-hour day because then you have to switch to other duties once they're done.
Yeah. So usually you're assigned 2 areas. So if I'm assigned, A kennel and E kennel, I could be cleaning upwards of 60 kennels just in the morning. And then you go back through to do feeds. So you're feeding and you're cleaning up during that as well. And then in between that, you're doing litter pans, carriers, because it's kind of a well-oiled machine. Like medical uses a carrier, someone's got to clean them. Intake uses carriers, someone's got to clean them. Litter pans, everybody uses those, so someone's got to clean them. So we're constantly just like we're cleaning up. And then we have the iguana enclosure as well with our resident iguanas here. And that was, that took hours to clean, and you're out there baking in the sun too. So
what else was involved in that role? Because after you clean, then they got to
so
get the animals ready if it's an adoption day.
Yeah. So I quickly became an adoption counselor and started working in the satellite office, doing meet and greets with families, trying to find the right fit for families. And that was so rewarding. And that really also put into perspective just how much I loved what I did. And we would get done with cleaning, and then we'd kind of just prep for the day. So we'd go look at all the available dogs, write out all of their things, whether they're, high energy dog or they're, we have to do a kid intro with them because they're so big and crazy, whatever it may be. That's kind of what we did. Then we took our lunch, and when we came back, it was showtime and adoption started flying.
How much did you interact with the volunteers? Because they put a lot of information on the board, like whether they walk or not. And then you're trying to pull some information from them.
Absolutely.
Well?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, the cat volunteers, the dog walking volunteers, they are like integral into the part of us because they really interact with the animals more than we do. As far as walking goes, as far as, when they're in there with the cats, they are like seeing all the behaviors or seeing medical stuff. So even now in my role, we talk to them so much, and we'll check the boards, and we kind of update the boards based on what the volunteers see. So they do help so much, and they're amazing. And
you volunteered on your own too at that time to take some dogs home, take them on a little adventure dog. Like that's another series that we had.
I did fostering too with Hunter, the foster coordinator, who I think was on here as well. And he sent me out with lots of animals, and it was so fun because, it's, again, just another rewarding part of the job is to see them kind of be in a home, and then you get to give such amazing information to the potential adopters about them.
And then on the flip side, you're in the animal welfare and you're like, what is this medical team doing over there? Because that's the whole, other half. Because
it's the Wild West. Yeah.
Yes. What said, how did you talk to one of the vet techs, nurses, one of the docs, and say, hey, look, how do I get involved in this?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. So I was actually cleaning the iguana enclosure one day, and I heard like screaming from a dog walking volunteer, and the dog, it was during the summer, and the dog was overheating, and it was just unconscious on the ground. And you don't realize how unprepared you are for situations until you're in them. Yeah. And so I was like, oh boy, I have no idea what to do. So I just walked the medical team. They came out, got the dog, and I was like, oh man, I'd be surprised if that dog makes it. I had no idea. And then a couple hours later, she was just in her kennel, happy as a clam. And I was like, wow, that's what I want to be a part of. And so I talked to Dr. Pindar, and I was like, hey, on my days off, I would love to just come and just watch you, just shadow you, immerse myself in it, see if I love it. And sure enough, within two sessions with her, I was in.
Yeah. Awesome. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke and dogs or any animal, that is no joke.
No, it's not.
That's a future animal. I've gone through it twice myself, being a runner with that dog, Charlie, I was telling you about, that passed away in October 22.
Okay, yeah.
Stubborn. Did not want to drink water.
Never do. Yeah. Yeah. The heat is brutal out here in Florida. And so, keeping an eye on the dog's temperatures is ideal. Because it can happen in just a blink of an eye. And again, when you get into those situations, you don't know what to do. So until you know what to do.
Okay, so you see this heat exhaustion case here on campus, but wasn't there a moment too where you went from animal welfare, thought about, and then you left the organization for a little bit, pursuing higher education, and then you found your way back to us?
Yeah.
It's like the mafia thing. They just pulled me right back in.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, I went to go to an emergency clinic. I had been shadowing there for about 6 months at the time. And so I went And then, I'm not a certified vet tech. I'm trying to get into vet school. So I'm trying to just do my undergrad right now to get into vet school. And so I'm never going to have my certification as a vet tech. And so they really just wanted the certified vet techs, which I completely understand. You go through 2 years of great schooling. Right. But I was like, I didn't get to follow any of the cases there. It was more here, do this lab work. So I run the lab work, but I never get to see why they're doing it or what happens after. And I was like, I like the whole cycle. I want to see everything. That's the only way I can learn. So I was like, called Michi, our manager, and I was like, hey, I got to come back. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So I came back, and then I was all in. I was like, I'm not gonna stray away again. This is my spot. Shelter medicine's amazing, and then our team here is just unbelievable.
So walk us through a day in the life of Devin, of being a vet tech now.
Yeah, every day is different, but. So a surgery day looks like I come in at 7 usually. If I'm a surgery lead that day, I'll come in at 7. I'll dose all the drugs. I'll pull up all the drugs. I kind of see what we're working with that day. I make a game plan in my head as far as, okay, I want to do cats first or dogs first, or if we're doing a dental, I'll give Dr. Pindar a spay while I'm doing the dental. And then once I'm done cleaning, she comes over. So you really got to think. And then so we'll do that till about noon. And then I put in all the paperwork after that. And then if we get done early cleaning, putting all the animals away, then I'll do adoption exams until time to go.
That is definitely a big day. How many animals do you think in total that you'll see in the different variety of species?
Per year?
On a day.
On a day.
Or in a year. You can answer both.
I don't know a year, but a day of different species, I probably see like 5 to 10 different species, especially on the weekends, because I see the wildlife too. So, I'm seeing... I'll go over there and help them out with whatever it may be.
Were you here when and help with the flamingo?
I was not here. I was on vacation when that happened.
Daggone it! What's going on? One of those, here we are involved with a marketing as well.
Yeah.
So now that you're, found your calling. Mm-hmm. Are you looking to be, doctor?
Yeah, I would love to be a veterinarian. That's a dream. I try not to give myself a plan B. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I feel like that is my calling. I've never been so passionate about anything in my entire life. I'm just have a super positive obsession with veterinary medicine. I go home and I'll, do self-studying, and I'll really dive into the literature of medicine and try and give the animals here just a better quality of care. And also it helps because then I can teach the other technicians, and the other technicians teach me, and we have a great learning environment here that Dr. Pindar and the management team has been so great about doing.
A couple more questions, and just to let folks know what other things that you guys do when the teams all get together. Every Tuesday we have this thing called Grand Rounds.
Yes.
And the other day Devin led
I did.
Calling on each department. And sometimes the departments, we're doing this in intake, we're doing this in animal welfare. But in medical, walk us through some of those numbers, because you're going through, okay, we have this many animals getting ready to go through surgery, this many animals for pre-treatment. Explain to the audience what that's like.
So we have, whenever animals are surrendered here, transferred here, whatever that may be, we have something called the evaluate list. So the evaluate list means the technicians are going to evaluate that animal. The animal cannot move through our process at all unless we, as technicians, put our hands on the animals, do a physical exam, get them up to date on any vaccines that they might need, and then we'll put them through to the next stage. So a lot of times we get a lot of unaltered animals here, which spaying, neutering your animals is extremely important. And so we will do that here. And so they go into pre-surgery. So I think that specific Tuesday that I led, we had 35 in pre-surgery. So 35 animals that still needed surgery. And then that day we actually pulled 24 animals for surgery. So then our evaluate list was I think we're up in the 50s right now, but it's already plummeting back down because we're knocking out adoption exams. But yeah, that's kind of the well-oiled machine of medical, is the stages and moving them through from evaluate then to pre-surgery. And sometimes they can go straight from evaluate to the adoption floor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sometimes.
But
the reason I want you to and I wanted to call that out is, folks see SPCA Tampa Bay, they see all those animals on the adoption floor. They just don't arrive here from a transfer from one of our partners, like Louisiana SPCA, or the partner up in Georgia, or somebody who are here locally, and they just surrender it, and we're just like, okay, animal's good to go.
Oh yeah,
put it on the website. There's a lot
rare.
That goes into it.
Yeah, there's a ton. We do heartworm testing on all of our dogs. So if a dog has heartworm disease, which is a debilitating disease in dogs, we treat them here. But that's a 2-week process of treatment for these guys. So Kennel cough is another one, kind of treating respiratory illness in them. That's that's a 14-day process. And, so many more things. Skin issues, which in Florida, very common. We see a lot of the skin allergies in our bully breeds here as well, and they're predisposed to that. So we treat that as well. And again, that can be a couple weeks process. So.
Yeah. Anything else to add, Devin? Timeline for becoming a doctor? Anything else you've learned, want to share, want to recruit people?
Yeah, I mean, as far as shelter medicine goes and being a technician, if you are interested in being a technician here, it's one of the most diverse atmospheres that you can be in as far as the animals go. You learn so much about every single aspect of animal welfare. And I think that's super important, seeing the sides of animal welfare that the public doesn't get to see. So seeing the, surrendering process, which can be super, super cool to see and super cool to learn about. And then you also just get a different perspective on humanity, I think, working here. Yeah. And that's something that I can never, ever thank this place enough for.
Awesome. Well said, Devin. You're doing a great job. And I would add that Dr. Pindar and Dr. Lopez, because we shine the light on Dr. Lopez and his 25,000 spay-neuter surgeries, they would say we could not do what we do without the vet techs and the nurses. It's not like they just go in there by themselves and go, all right, let's do this.
Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely, everybody's got to be on board. And if everybody's on board, this thing is the highest functioning machine you can get.
All right. Well, spread the word about the podcast. We'll get more subscribers. And because more subscribers means some of that revenue that YouTube likes to share, they have tons of it, will come back to the shelter. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have barking news and talk about some animals who are living their best life. They've been adopted. We're going to share their story after they left here at SPCA Tampa Bay, and a little bit on Petwalk.
Hi, I'm Coco, and this is my friend Daisy, and we're here to tell you about Petwalk. SPCA Tampa Bay is a for-all shelter that won't refuse to care for any animal that comes to its doors. It costs $35 a day to care for each animal under our care, and Petwalk raises funds to support animals in SPCA Tampa Bay's care. Join or form a Petwalk team with coworkers, friends, family, or join as an individual virtual walker and start raising money today.
Hi, I'm Bree, and this is my dog Burton. It's simple to participate in Petwalk. Just go to petwalk.org to log into your team or to create a brand new one. Signing up for Petwalk is free. All participants who raise $50 or more will receive an official 2024 Petwalk t-shirt and goodie bag. Participants raising $100 or more can select from amazing prizes. Petwalk is on April 6th at 2 locations, North Straub Park in downtown St. Petersburg and Largo Central Park in Largo.
All right, welcome back to the Animal Tales podcast. I'm Eric Keaton. Devin Quinn did a great job. Again, like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or on your favorite podcast provider. Folks, this is episode 1 of 2024. I have new glasses, and I'm going to use the damn things and read these barking news segments. Up first, we're going to have some adoption stories. First one I want to share, we get these adoption stories in all the time, but I pulled a couple of them. I thought we should be sharing them not only on social media, but on the podcast. The first one, and Matt's going to put up these pictures and video, it's a cute update on Ava, now Millie, with her new family and sister, SPCA alumni Jewel, now Mabel, adopted last May. Great job to the adoptions team. This is a great match. And that was an email forwarded to us from the adopters through Stacy Medinger, who is one of our outstanding animal welfare team members. And you can see them cuddling together on the little pillow. My dog has one of those as well. All right, now we're going to share video. And folks, stand by. Because this hairless guinea pig looks like it's something out of a Star Wars movie. It's just that's my opinion. I'm not being mean. That's a compliment. Okay. And I'm going to share this from Molly and Java right now. Hi, my name is Molly and I just adopted a guinea pig. And then in quotes, a hairless guinea pig named Richard Cream Puff, in quotes, Simmons. I'm going to say that again. Richard Cream Puff Simmons. So, Pauly Shore, your little video on YouTube as you're starring as Richard Simmons as a court jester, you now have a hairless guinea pig named Richard Cream Puff Simmons. But they changed Richard Cream Puff Simmons to Java. on Wednesday, January 10th. She is doing amazing, and she has become a bold little pig, and she is huge snacker. Okay, loves to eat. And our last one, update for the adoptions. I'm going to go to my phone here. It's an update on Kimber. You might remember our adoptions page with the dogs. We had a Pinellas County Animal Services transferred in several Weimaraners to us. This is an update on Kimber. Kimber is now Gemma. Everybody changes their names. I adopted from here, and she was Roxy. I left her as Roxy, but to each their own. Gemma has adjusted pretty well. She's in her new home. She's not as shy as she was, is walking pretty well now. Still not very open to strangers, but getting there. Loves her comfort, loves to walk now, and is a sweetheart, great companion. Got to see her first snow. I guess they traveled up to Tennessee. You can see some of the pictures. Gemma is wearing one of those little jackets, and they're having no problems at all. Thank you all. Thank you for adopting all three of those stories as well. Let me get back to my notes. Petwalk's coming up. It's April 6th, and we are just days away from the Petwalk kickoff. We'll put the information on the screen. That is February 10th, right here at our 4-All shelter in Largo. Petwalk will be April 6th. Right now, it has 2 locations in St. Pete and in Largo in Central Park. Also, next episode, Devin may want to come back and go with us. We're going to the Rays Fan Fest. Remember, we had those 3 big interviews. We're going to go out there and bother the players again. Not sure if we're going to take animals this year. Probably the closer we get, depending on what is in our inventory, we will look to take them. And remember, go to our website and review that story about Dr. Lopez. 25,000 spay-neuter surgeries since he's been with SPCA Tampa Bay. Go to spcatampabay.org/25K. I'm a genius for thinking of that one, right? And last but not least, we also have our Tales of Gratitude. You can catch this little baby on our website as well. Has all the great numbers and how we contributed to animals in the community here in the Tampa Bay area and beyond. All right, that's going to do it. All right, I'd like to thank Matt for putting all this together and our entire marketing team, Devin for being our guest. If you would like to send in a topic or you would like to be on the Animal Tales podcast, just send me an email at ekeaton@spcatampabay.org. Like, subscribe, hit the thumb button, notifications, all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next episode.